Hello, wonderful people. I'm Dane Peterson from Wonderbot Animals. And here is the way animals are treated in Liberia is changing, and children are leading the way. Before we begin, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. School children have flocked to animal kindness clubs in their communities, changing long-standing traditions. For a long time in Liberia, when a dog bit someone, the consequences for all dog kind were devastating. Mass killings, and not with euthanasia. No, you might not expect animal welfare to be a high priority in a nation ravaged by a decades-long civil war. Even today, the West African country is one of the poorest in the world. Why should cats and dogs or even goats get any kind of protection when violence is everywhere? But Morris Darbo grew up under a different mantra. His parents taught him to love animals and care for them as you would any living being. Animals are living beings. We need to care for them. We need to protect them, says Morris Darbo. Even as the region where he grew up, Lofa County, saw heavy fighting during the Second Civil War, Darbo saw a link between people who were violent with animals and people who were violent with other people. He vowed to break that cycle, which is why when Darbo started advocating for better conditions for animals in Liberia, he looked first to the children. If we can learn to treat animals with kindness, so too can we be kind to each other? In my country, it is a generational issue, he tells MNN. Children grow up seeing their parents, their fathers, their mothers abuse animals. They imitate what the adults do. For Darbo, that meant planting seeds of change in the country's youth and hoping it would take root in generations to come. And so, in 2000, he founded the Liberia Animal Welfare and Conservation Society, LAWCS, and, with just a handful of like-hearted volunteers, began offering animal education programs to local schools. Darbo grew up in a family that loved animals of every stripe. Children were taught about respect, about responsibility, about compassion, Darbo explains. So these kids become ambassadors in their families and in their schools and in their communities. They re-educate their parents about animals and about respect for animals. We talk to teachers in schools as well. We empower them with resources. We want to see this program live on and on and on. The organization has outreach programs in 35 schools so far. Darbo's message would ring out on community radio. Children, too, joined him on the airwaves. The organization began offering free health care for animals. Students also flocked to join animal kindness clubs, where they learned not only how to take care of dogs, cats, goats, and all manner of animals, but also to take care around them. Because of that, we were able to, first of all, reduce the number of dog bite incidents in the community, and that brought the end of the mass killings of dogs over a dog bite. Dog bites are down, and so too are dog culls. Eventually, 35 schools would embrace the humane education programs designed by LAWCS, inspiring more than 27,000 children. LAWCS has sparked an unprecedented spirit of animal rights activism in Liberia. Along the way, some 7,380 farm and companion animals would get much-needed medical care. Because funding is so lean, the organization has devised innovative ways to get the word out, like a sticker campaign. We put stickers on bikes and cars so the message can go far off, Darbo says. Stickers bring the LAWCS message to all parts of the country. And, little by little, a new understanding of the human-animal relationship has trickled upward to older generations. Today, Darbo can see it in the little things, like bowls for dogs outside of people's homes. Not so long ago, people typically threw leftover, even spoiled food on the dirty ground for dogs to scavenge. Dogs would get sick, and eventually humans would too. Now, today, a lot of homes have a bowl for the animals, a bowl for water and a bowl for food, Darbo says, his voice brimming with pride. Dogs often would get sick from eating scraps from the ground. We got people to look at the health of the animals, Darbo adds, because the health of the animals is directly connected to their own health. If we don't care for them and they get sick, there's a possibility that we'll encounter the same problems, like worms and rabies. Darbo sees a connection between healthy animals and healthy people. The army of protectors grows. Today, LAWCS is the only organization in the country dedicated to animal welfare. And while not much has changed for the group, it's still scant on staff with just 8 volunteers, and it depends on threadbare donations to survive. The landscape for animals has changed dramatically. We are implementing a program that is a new concept in the country, Darbo explains. It's the first time people are hearing that animals should be cared for, they should be protected, they should be provided with a balanced diet. More than 7,300 farm and companion animals have received medical care through LAWCS. But from time to time, the organization still runs into cold, hard tradition, especially outside of Liberia's urban centers. In some of the rural communities that we work in, people are used to eating dog meat and cat meat, Darbo says. It's a challenge for us. And for people who have been doing this for a long period of time, you are challenging their belief system. But if anyone knows how to break an age-old cycle of violence, it's Darbo. There are people who will listen to us. We are not going to confront them and say, hey, this is no good. We'll bring in stories that help them reflect on their attitudes toward the animal. And gradually, many of them have changed over a period of time. And Darbo knows how to use that time. No matter how hardened tradition may seem, time is always on the side of youth. He's hoping to establish an education center that can draw people from across the country, and he dreams of inviting volunteers from abroad. The dream is to one day cover the entire country. That's what we are hoping to do. The group aims to change relationships with not only pets, but farm animals too.